Okay. So I just want to do a really, really quick video on these. These are the Apple AirPod Pro Max headphones. These are probably the most expensive headphones I'll ever buy in my life, to be honest with you. Come on, focus. There you go. It sort of wants to play ball. These are pretty premium headphones. And I just want to talk about the sound characteristics. I want to talk about the EQ factor. Can you EQ them? Should you? I want to talk about the ergonomics as well. What's the weight like? What's the clamping force like on your head? And I want to talk about the sort of 3D audio thing that Apple's talking about, which is kind of implemented and sort of not. And I just want to talk about the value for money. So let's talk about the sound of these. When you take these out of the box and you put them on with all of the default settings, I would say the sound is very, very dark. There's like virtually no treble extension whatsoever. There's almost no detail or texture in the top range. It's all bottom. It's all bottom end. It's all mud. Which is really not good. It's actually really recessed in the mids as well. These are headphones for people, like you can tell Apple is trying to market these, they're trying to satisfy the bass heads. And if you're serious about listening to music, you want to hear the whole spectrum. You don't just want to hear everything under 1,000 hertz. So these are very dark by default. By default. The soundstage is really, really nice and wide. Very 3D, a lot of depth. In terms of like soundstage, I kid you not, I honestly think they would compare to the soundstage of my favorite headphones, the DT990 Pros. So loads of width, loads of space creation, spatial awareness, really, really pleasing. And the noise cancellation, which you activate with this button, is actually really good too. Really good noise cancellation. But I would recommend you listen with the noise cancellation switched off, because I hear you lose some of the dynamics when the noise reduction is on, cancellation. So, yeah. Overall, the sound is really actually well defined. It's really mature. There's really good timing between the two cans, and there's really good... The bass is defined. But like I said, it's dark. It's totally dark. It's like totally muffled. And this is something I find with a lot of consumer headphones. They're just muffled as hell. So that brings me on to the topic of EQ. Can you actually EQ the AirPod Pro Max? Well, if you have it paired to your iPhone or your iPad, I think, well, yes, you can. So let me find this for you. Let me show you what the EQ thing is and how to actually get to it. You might have to still do a bit of Googling. But you need to go into your accessibility settings. Then you go to AirPods. Apple doesn't want to make this easy for you. Then you go to your AirPods Max. Okay. And what you're looking for here, if this is going to focus, holy shit, that's literally just 100% white. Okay, let's see if this wants to focus. Come on, Sony. Come on, Sony. Yeah, so you want to go to that thing there that says Audio Accessibility Settings. Okay. This is how you change the EQ of the AirPod Pro Max. And when you do this, these things actually sound pretty damn good. Alright, so now you're in this section. Damn. That's still too bright. Sorry. I forgot how much I've cranked the exposure on this camera. You're trying to get to here in the accessibility. And you go to the top thing there that says headphone accommodations. this is how you change the EQ. And as you can see, I've got mine. Come on, Sony. Come on, Sony. This is an old Sony camera. I've got mine set to brightness. See the tick mark there? And I've turned on headphone accommodations. So this is Apple's weird sort of confusing Byzantine kind of EQ system. And when I turned headphone accommodations on, the headphones stopped being so scooped in the mids and they stopped being so dark. They were still too rolled off in the top end for me. So I set it to brightness. And now the AirPod Pro Maxes are actually quite comparable to these. Amazing soundstage. Really, actually very good treble. The bass is very tight and controlled. The mid-range is really deep. These are actually, like, once you EQ them, these sound really freaking good. Do they sound like the money I paid for them? Well, no. No, they don't. Because the DT990 Pros that I've got, the 250 ohms, cost me way less money, and they still sound better. But you know, you're paying for Apple, right? You're paying for the sex appeal. These things, I mean, I'm not sure if I'd be bold enough to wear these in public. I feel like someone would come along and nick them off my head. Some kind of memory foam ear cups there. These are actually quite heavy. I'll get to ergonomics in a sec. But yeah, they turn on the moment you put them on your head and they resume playing whatever you last paused. So, yeah. Do they sound like the money I paid? No. Do they sound really, really good? Yeah. You EQ these, they sound really good. But EQing them, I wish Apple would, you know, for the money you're paying, it's like, damn, come on. You should be able to actually, there should be an actual EQ section, and you should be able to load EQ profiles into these so that it works on any device it's connected to. Because out of the box, they're way too dark. If I couldn't correct the EQ of these, I would probably take them back and ask for a refund. The top end does not exist. So now let's talk about ergonomics. The first thing that struck me about these is, like, they're really heavy. You know, these are really light. So there's two things I prefer about these real headphones, shall we say real headphones. These are light and they clamp. They clamp really nice on your head. There's no wiggle. There's no movement. And I know you're not dancing around your studio when you're wearing headphones, or at least not usually. But these, you're probably going to take these out and about with you, right? And these are really friggin' heavy. These are really freaking heavy, man. These go on your head, and I can feel wiggling, and they don't clamp. There's not enough clamp on my head. I wish they were tighter. And I have had to extend the little telescopes a bit, because now you can see the things are vertical on my head. It does move the tweeters down a little bit, which dulls the sound slightly. But this is, I'm happy with this compromise. They're really comfy. I just wish they were a bit tighter on my head, and I wish they weren't so friggin' heavy. I don't know why they're so heavy. But you could wear these for hours, no problem. No problem. Ergonomics is great. The build quality is outstanding. I mean, yeah, I'd say for the money you're paying, the build quality is what you would expect. Yeah, these are built really, really well. And yeah, really comfy. The 3D audio, you can get some kind of 3D audio thing here. I forget what it's called. And it plays you a little sound demo when you first turn these on. And you say, oh yeah, I'll check out what that 3D thing sounds like. and it plays it. And yeah, sure enough, you move your head and you can hear things around you. And as you turn your head, you can hear the sound source moving. It's actually pretty eerie. It's almost like you don't have headphones on. And so you think, hell yeah, I'm going to use this. This is awesome. I'm going to definitely use this. Then you realize nothing is compatible with it. Pretty much nothing. I think Disney Plus now has support for Apple's 3D audio thing, if you're a Disney Plus person. Netflix, at least in Australia, hasn't made it compatible. Basically what it does is it takes a 5.1 audio stream and it kind of renders it on this virtual surround sound thing. It's actually pretty good. And if you're watching something on your phone or on your iPad, again, how you turn your head will affect where you perceive the sound to come from. So it sounds like you're listening on a home theater system, which is pretty cool. But again, it's like you need to be using an iPhone or an iPad because Apple likes to keep you on their cul-de-sac. And you need something that can turn that 5.1 stream into this Apple 3D thing. Yeah. There should just be some kind of on-the-fly encoder. I don't know. So yeah. The 3D audio, if you're buying these for the 3D audio, don't even, just don't. Just stop. There's no point. So in terms of value for money, I would say the build quality is absolutely outstanding. They look really, really sexy if looks are important to you. This is like this is silicon. This headband is silicon. It's got this nice sort of headband thing. Really friggin' premium materials. It's got the little microphones all over the ear caps, which kind of allow the thing to cancel out noise. But value for money, I don't know, man. I mean, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, it makes sense. If you've got an iPhone or an iPad, or if you have an iPhone and an iPad, well, these are a sensible buy. If you watch movies on your iOS devices, these are a sensible buy. If you just want to listen to music and hear it rendered really quite beautifully, and you're prepared to spend that, I'd say it's good. There are much better sounding headphones out there for much less money, like the Biodynamics, the DT990s, the 250 ohms. But plugging those into your phone or your iPad is like, I don't know how you do it. I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother. These are super convenient. That's the other thing. You put them on, they pair, they resume playback. That's what you want. That's what you want. Would I go walking with these or gymming, exercising? No, I wouldn't. I'd go walking maybe. But exercising, like I said, they don't clamp down on your head nearly enough. I would sooner exercise with these. I'd sooner put these on my head if I was doing any kind of gym, because the clamping force on here is great. And they're light. They're really light. But they sound exceptional, those boys. These are like... I don't know. I would almost suggest looking for them secondhand. They're a little bit dear for what you get. The build quality is amazing. The sound is very, very good. Probably some of the best sound I've heard on consumer headphones in recent years, I would say. Yeah. Apple has done extremely well. But wow, I mean, if you're not in the Apple ecosystem, no. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks. Peace.